Hello, my name is Federico Galdi. Um, I'm a medical doctor by profession, but more businessman. Um, I'm in a longevity space. I also was part of the first unicorn held in Costa Rica that actually I'm really happy to see Roberto here. He was one of the angel investors back in the days. Um, and I'm in the longevity space. Also, consulted for another company on the region or region lab, what do you call it? This is the future of medicine and biologics. And I'm here also to talk to you a little bit about the new trend on the longevity space regarding stem cells, human utilization, and biological dentistry.
So speaking longevity, can you explain to me why now, when I go to my friends' kitchens and bathrooms in New York, London, San Francisco, especially San Francisco, there is a still life of collection of potions and pills, longevity supplements, and half of the people in this room have this device that is not a watch. Why is everyone suddenly so obsessed with this? And also, why everyone from Russian billionaires to Jeff Bezos is investing in longevity? Is it a social trend? Is it a trend in technology or difference in access to devices? And
Yeah, well, several things I think are happening right now. I think, there's a perfect storm happening regarding longevity and healthcare. One is our current systems has collapsed. Traditional medicine got to extend our lifespan, but not our health span. So basically, look, people are a little tired when it's out there. Big pharma also took over a lot. There's a lot of controversy in the past as well. So people are looking for new ways to live more, to be more healthier, to track their lifestyle every day. And I think we're coming to an era with also artificial intelligence that we have a saying, if you're healthy in the next 15 years, we will probably be able to extend your health span for 10 or 15 years more. So I think right now, a lot of companies, medtech companies, AI companies have invested in the health. Also from my side in Costa Rica, we talked a little bit in the first panel about real estate, but also there's a lot of medical tourism, a lot of science coming from Costa Rica regarding longevity. We're one of the blue zones in the world. So people live more than 80 years old right now. So there's a lot of things, really exciting happening. So I think that's one of the the things people are looking. But the other problem is there's so much information out there. There's a lot of snake oil, a lot of people that are claiming things. So we need to be really careful who should partner or who should look for your doctor at this new trend.
Yeah, and Federico mentioned something that is super important, that is tracking and gathering that data. And when we think about dental, the first step to digitalization are impressions. So that's why we invested in dental scanners because it's the first step to go digital. And having good accuracy, especially in the full dental arc, is super important for many dental procedures. So we are on that trend of gathering more data and accurate data.
okay, well, and given that, what was your thought process as a family office and investor to invest in this technology? In business school terms, was it push or pull? Did you search for this technology or did it land on your lap?
Great question. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. And it's actually a family story. A relative part of the family had more than 22 dental procedures. And it kind of landed the opportunity that she saw that there was a huge opportunity on gathering more accurate data. And even though dental scanners have been on the market for 10, almost 12 years, they're still manual because they depend on professionals, trained professionals, and the scanner itself is not accurate in the full dental art. So it was more like a leap of faith from a patient that lived the pain of not having quality dental imagery. So that's where the idea came from, basically.
And how did you elaborate? Is there did you use any data sources or analytical tools to evaluate the opportunity, or was it really opportunistic?
Yeah. So for us, it was more about basic principles. Like we saw that many industries have to go digital and have to digitalize, and we saw that dentistry is one of the most handcraft or artisan industry or niche, specifically in medical. So for us, it was more like a first principles of we need to be to help digitalize the industry, and the first step is getting good quality image.
And Federico, we caught up yesterday. Can you maybe tell everyone a little bit about the value of diagnostics of its dentistry, its the whole mouth ecosphere,
Yes.
and how important it is in health use?
So, yeah, I think diagnostics is going to be the new way of preventive medicine. I don't know if everybody wants to raise their hands. Who of you has low levels of vitamin D? Do you know? So I think the most important thing is the things you measure, and that's in every single part of the business or healthcare, whatever. If you measure, you cannot see where you go. So our approach right now is, looking at diagnostics, not only with scans, but also blood, biologic, or genetics, or biological age through genes, a lot of panels, a lot of MRI, CT scans, DEXA scans, so we can prevent, illness. It's more expensive to treat than prevent. Even that at the beginning, people are really, they don't want to spend that money diagnostically. They say it's not necessary, right? One of the things that we're seeing is we have a lot of the high net worth individuals getting involved in this, and they are pushing the trend to that side. We had in Costa Rica patients like Kevin Costner, Tony Robbins coming, Bob Sinclair, famous athletes coming to our clinic. And that trend is bringing people to the center that I think is going to be one of the key things. And there's three things important that we're doing that I think everybody has to be looking. One is biological dentistry is the new trend. A lot of our diseases come from the mouth, and I have our partner here, Alejandro, is working in this for more than 10 years. And this is changing the way. There's a lot of neurological diseases related, like Alzheimer's dental health. The other thing is dental will lead you to the microbiome, the whole digestive system. We have an entire organ that is the gut, and a lot of our immune diseases coming from there. And the third one that I see is really, really important is the sleep. So, looking at scanners to move your jaw, even with small things, you can increase the way we sleep. And so I think it's really important what we're seeing right now. And also the other piece is stem cells, right? As we age, we're losing the ability to produce stem cells, and also actually the senescent cells that are the zombie cells that are the ones who lead to cancer and stuff start increasing. So working around biologics, understanding that, doing the testing is going to be the future.
And this year, do insurance companies cover that?
So no, at this point, diagnostics, a lot of the diagnostics you can cover through insurance company. Definitely not biological dentistry. We have a lot of medical tourism in Costa Rica coming from the U.S. I think U.S. has a big problem in dentistry, and Alejandro can expand on that. But and the other thing is biologics with FDA here is diapers. There's a couple of states that are taking the lead. One's Florida, others Utah. But basically, FDA said, if you want to do this, patient will be responsible on their own. So it's not a looking forward way of doing it. I think again, the good thing is there's big families and there are big names pushing that to that side, and hopefully we can see more of this preventive medicine soon in the next few years.
And what about you? Do you see regulatory impediments or the opposite, potential to build a platform or scale up your technology?
Yes, great question. Actually, in Europe, now with the MDR, that's like the FDA, but for Europe, we have faced like huge challenges. So we actually today have focused the business only in the US. That the market is huge. Only in the US, there are more than 180,000 dental clinics. So because of regulations, we have to focus the business only only in the US for the beginning. Yes, and understanding the market was something that was super useful because we saw that there were many patients that could not get access to good dental practice. So one thing that we have with our medical device, the dental scanner, is that we can bring the scanner actually to nursing homes. Only in the US, there are about 2 million people in nursing homes that really struggle to get access to go into a dental practice. And it's very sad because in nursing homes, if the patient loses their denture, they need to change their diet, and this really affects their health. So this is one of the niches that we want to focus first.
Actually, I'm personally surprised. I thought in America it was not common to have dental insurance, while in Latin America, I discussed with someone yesterday, it's required that employees provide dental insurance, as well as in Europe, because I live between 3 continents.
Yeah, here in the States, it depends on the states and depends on employers, but it's really huge. There are millions of patients today in the US that have dental insurance, and there are many procedures that are covered by the insurance, for example, dentures. So what I was mentioning with the patients in nursing homes, the dentures are covered by the insurance. So the only blocker today is getting access of the impression. And by bringing the medical scan to the nursing home, we are like being the bridge between the patient and the denture that is already covered by the dental insurance.
Very interesting. And as you think about that, are you already thinking about your potential exit strategies, or do you want to build a worldwide platform?
That's a great question.
Amazon.
And actually, I want to go a little bit deeper on the business model, because today medical devices are kind of this traditional model, and these that have these distribution channels where you have this big distribution, Henry Chines and all of these big distribution players. We are thinking about the go-to-market with a different angle. So we are focusing more on giving the scanner for free with no upfront cost to the dentist, but we have a minimum dental work that we require for them. As you know, the first stage is to do impression, but then the dentist needs to send the image to the lab and order up a liner or a crown or a denture or whatever it is from the lab. So we have partnered with one of the best labs in the US, in Europe, and in India. So we can have a full spectrum of labs and connecting doctors with dental labs. And we earn a percentage of every work that they do in our ecosystem.
And you collect data.
And we collect data. Yeah, that's super exciting as well. And accurate data. That's super exciting.
We should open it to questions. Be the only one asking questions. Do you have any questions to be?
Security on the patient medical data. How do you create Chinese walls so that information doesn't get into the wrong hands?
That's a great question as well. We need to encrypt everything, and we use top tier standards to we can cover that. And what clinics and labs are more afraid of on how we handle the data. So we need to have top tier encrypted data.
One of the things regarding insurance company in this kind of preventive medicine is they don't have enough data. So one of our responsibilities is, creating this database and on all the things we do, so we can then, come to not only the governments, but we need to democratize this. We are getting people to 75 years old, but if you ask the last 10, 15 years, they have a miserable life. we struggle through cancer, we struggle through autoimmune disease, we struggle with neurological diseases. So the system is collapsing right now. So in the other hand, we need to collect the data. That's why we, put this project together that is called TRIBE, with the three pillars that is, regenerative medicine, biological dentistry, and functional medicine. And one of our key, objectives is to create this data that we do in these procedures. We can not only increase your lifespans, but also your health span. And again, the only way you can do that is through data. So you need to have a data strategy in your clinics to actually go for that.
In this light, what can happen in the next 3 years to serve as a real catalyst for both of you in terms of, strategy of your business and maybe other investments that you might make?
Yeah, sure. So we are very excited about the future, especially by gathering data. With our scanner, we get 7x more accurate precision on the image of the full dental arc. So in the future, when we gather many of these full dental arcs, we're gonna start doing many things regarding with AI because we have the raw material to do that. So that's super exciting. And also that we are looking forward into the future is capturing occlusion, because occlusion is super important to diagnose many diseases. So that's what we're very excited about the future. I see a question over there.
I try to be loud, so
Thank you.
fine. Yeah. Well, thank you, Sergio. Even better now. So, I worked with on a investment thesis actually in cardiovascular diagnosis. So what I learned while working on that project was getting the doctors, the dentists on board is key because they don't want to lose jobs, they don't want to lose income. So how do you think about involving the dentists rather than being them afraid, if they come in with technology, I lose my patients, I lose my revenue?
Yeah, it's actually backwards. Like we are empowering dentists to use our tool so they can spend their time doing procedures but not scanning. Today, they are spending about 20 hours a month on average on the US doing scanning, and it doesn't make sense. Like dentists should be doing the actual procedures, and with our scanner, that is the first automatic scanner, now the dentist can focus on doing the procedures, and the scanning itself, it can done by someone else, as it is just a robotic arm that does the scan. So yes.
Yeah, what you're saying, it happened with Smile Direct. I don't know if you remember Smile Direct. It's like the other brand of Invisalign. And they tried to jump the dentist, and they had bankruptcy. So you're completely accurate on that. For us, one of the challenges, as I was saying in the beginning, is there's a lot of information out there. There's people, I don't know if you go, this guy Johnson, that he wants to live for. He spends millions and millions of dollars with. Basically, he stopped living to live more. That's what I say. And that message is getting out there. There's a lot of documentaries in Netflix right now regarding this. We are being a documentary biohacking in the next 3 or 4 months in Netflix as well. For us, the biggest gap is people doesn't know where to go. We're in social media, a lot of influencers that are not scientific, claiming things, cold plunges, infrared sauna. It's overwhelming, that money for information. So what we decided is we are building, standardized protocol, and we train in Costa Rica most of the surgeons that do biological dentistry in the States. So our idea right now is, have a plug and play solution for them so they can go in this frame that, keep the patients safe on scientific data without going into this biohacking, taking 100 pills a day, supplements we don't know. We call it nutraceuticals because not all the supplements you find in Amazon or in GNC are reliable. You have to investigate where are they. So it's a lot of information. So the idea that we had is, okay, let's centralize this with standard protocol let's do it really, really organized as a pharmaceutical. And that's where we have a process or a journey for the patient from the diagnostics to the, dental part, then go to sleep, then go to the orthopedics, and then sexual enhancements. We have several steps because this is not one-time treatment. This is a journey you have to start in life so you can balance your life and basically age well.
We forecast at least 20,000 STL images in the first year. So that would be hopefully a good amount of data to start working on, especially for procedures like orthodontics. So when we think about aligners, we see that if we have a precision full dental arc image, we can get up to 30 to 40% faster treatment. So yeah, that's super exciting.
Let's say the biggest problem with stem cells is standardize the process. We need to see stem cells as a product, and the pharmaceutical has to reach the high quality standards. I have used all kinds of stem cells, from fat-derived stem cells, bone marrow, umbilical cord, placenta. Now there's a whole new group of biologicals that are acellular. Now you can bank fat, for example, for aesthetic procedures. Biggest problem is, again, on standardized surgeons or standardized doctors doing stem cells in their offices, pulling out fat and claiming that. So if one of the things we are experts is how you bank, how you follow ISO 7 GMP procedures, test on the genetics of the cells, see the karyotypes of the cells. And when you have a standardized off-the-shelf product, then you can have a million things to use. We have patients from autoimmune disease that we do plasma exchange and then stem cells. We have patients that we do orthopedics. Of course, the dental is super important for trying to build up the bone again and create a nice environment without any inflammation. We do now see protocols for neurological diseases, early stages, really promising for Alzheimer's, for traumatic brain injury, also post heart attack. We have studies that we repair. That technology is growing. It's growing fast. A lot of controversy because, again, there's people doing it in not the right way. And so governments, what they tend to do is they shut down. Costa Rica is more open. It's a high vigilance country. It's not that you can go there and do whatever you want. So we have worked with the Ministry of Health for the last 10 years so they can understand, because the biggest problem is the authorities, they don't know what they're talking about. Even the day doctors, if you go to your doctor today and you tell them what are the 3 stem cells, I bet you they will not know. So there's a lot of things that we're doing right now. That's why we found also Tribe Academy is we need to teach not only the patients, but we need to teach our physicians, our dentists, of what are biologics, what are the important of functional medicine and preventive medicine regarding hormone replacement therapies, regarding what nutraceuticals you need to use. There's a lot of teaching. Not only for our patients, but a lot of teaching internally to our surgeons, to our doctors. And I think that's the biggest challenge. If you go to a clinic, if you see a clinic outside of the US or in the US, that they have a list, like a menu, it's like a Cheesecake Factory menu. They treat everything. That's a red flag. Stem cells are really specific on things that we can treat right now, scientific based. And there's others that are exciting, but we need to wait. And the other thing is the kind of stem cells you're using, hopefully is adult stem cells from your fat or umbilical cord, that they have proof they will not turn to cancer. So we have already more than 3,000 papers proving that they don't turn to cancer. They heal, most important, they bring your own stem cells to heal. And I think we're looking at the next 5 years that are going to be really exciting. Again, to increase our health span, that is the most important thing. There's people saying we're going to live 150 years. I think that's irrelevant. I think what we need, what we want in this group probably is, I want to play with my kids when I'm, 75 years, tennis and stuff like that. I think that's my goal, and that's why our partnership with Alejandro Andres that's our goal. We need to create something that people is understandable, is simple because simple is born, and we can escalate the business. So we can start a franchise model here in the U.S. that we already have a lot of people interested in this. So that's the idea. How we standardize the process. Everybody can be doing the same thing, including scanner, things like that are really simple stuff that we can do, and then we can do a big change on that.
So then what can happen in the next 3 years? What changes in market trends, technology, or regulations can really be like a home run for your areas of expertise?
Yeah, for approval from stem cells in the U.S. will be huge. In certain diseases or certain things that we can do. I think diagnostics are getting really accurate. I'd love to see, in your country club or in your hotel, DEXA scan, and you can, go there for 5 minutes and you can see your bone density, your muscle density, your, fat percentage, really accurate way. I would love to see in a hotel a CT scan so you can see what are the coronary arteries, if they have calcium, if they're not. All of these things prevent, and for me, it's a no-brainer. This is cheap diagnostics. You pay, high $500 for a CT scan from your heart. We should all be doing this in an annual basis. I do it myself. I do a full MRI, CT scan from my heart, DEXA scan. I do all the blood panels. I spend $1,000 every 6 months. And the way I see it is like I'm going in my car black and I just turn my lights. So now I know where I can go. So if I'm vitamin D, come to the first question, is low, I will supplement myself with vitamin D. If my hormone levels, in traditional medicine, hormone levels of testosterone, then we start decreasing at 40, but normal range is between 300 and 1,000. And if you go to a traditional doctor and you're in 300, they will say you're okay, and you're not. That's when you start having sleep problems. You're not gaining muscle, you're not losing fat. So we increase the testosterone to 1,000, so you can be in the optimal way. All of these small things on the diagnostics are going to be big changes in the next future.
Yes, I just want to double down on diagnostics. Actually, we were in conversation with Walgreens. They said, like, we imagine having your scanner in each Walgreens location, so we can have any customer that they want to have a scan in 30 seconds, and you can refer the patient to the right doctor. So yes, what I see in 3 years is access of diagnosis in a Walgreens, in a nursing home, whatever.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.